Sam. I'm making this new moon forecast for you here from Kauai. As you see, a beautiful pool and the ocean is right up here. We have the new moon on March 30th happening at 16 degrees 20 minutes of sidereal Pisces in the nakshatra of Uttarabhadrapada. Uttarabhadra literally means later auspicious result, and it comes after Purvabhadrapada, which is the early auspicious result. And Uttarabhadra is a nakshatra that's related to digging deeply into the mysteries of the soul and our metaphysical existence. As I said, it's in Pisces, which is the sign of that metaphysical union with everything, that part of us that is not just about life on earth. It's where we connect with things beyond. And it's a pretty amazing experience as a human being to be plugged into the great beyond, the great metaphysical thing that doesn't have to do with just being in the body and working through karma with individuals or society and all like that. So Pisces is that great mystical connection that we have with past lives and future lives and the unembodied state, the part of us that's not just in the body. So Uttarabhadrapada is where we investigate and go deeply into the different holes in our psyche and in our awareness. It comes after Purvabhadra, which is the lightning strike of inspiration that gives us that first glimpse of divinity, of the great beyond. Purvabhadra is where we first experience that silence, that there's something beyond. And then Uttarabhadra is where we make a commitment to go deeper into that and not just have it be some kind of fantasy experience. So that's where the new moon will happen, in Pisces on March 30th. And in addition to that experience of that new moon, of course, the thing to understand is that the new moon is the beginning of a cycle. It's where sun and moon come together. So it's the beginning of that experience of Pisces for 2014. I hope you like hearing the waves. And this will be like a 30-day cycle. And it's where intention, which is the sun, and feeling, which is the moon, come together around that experience. So the moon is burned up in the rays of the sun on the new moon, which means that the mind and the emotions and that consciousness that gives us the feeling and the experience of I am this person, I am this emotional creature who feels this way and who has this history and who has this family and who deserves this and all that stuff that we get into, that gets really burned up in the light of truth, in the rays of the sun when we have a new moon. Now that it's in Pisces, which is very metaphysical, this experience of our individuality through the moon and the emotional mind becomes somewhat sacrificed into the true self of the sun, the Paramatman, the supreme self. So the moon is the Jivatman, which goes with us from lifetime to lifetime and remembers those experiences, not just from lifetime to lifetime, but in this lifetime as well. We all have a connection to our past, even though, like if we look at old pictures of ourselves, even from 10 years ago, we can hardly remember what that person felt like, but something in us feels like that is the person. That congruent continuity through this lifetime has to do with the moon, which also connects to our childhood and our memories, and that forms a lot of our identity. But it also connects through different lifetimes. Like I said, the jiva is what goes from lifetime to lifetime. Then the sun, though, is beyond all of that. The sun is the supreme self, which is not just about this lifetime. So that's what's so powerful about sun and moon coming together in Pisces. And the sun burns up the mind at that time. It burns up the feeling of I and mine and me and my history. So not only on March 30th, which is the day of the new moon, but for the next 30 days as well, is a good time to really imbibe those deep lessons. And there's obviously there are other factors. We have Mars will be opposite that moon, that sun moon. Mars will be in Virgo, opposite the moon. So, there's definitely some potential contentiousness and difficulty with others right now. I mean, there's also a lot of love and beauty possible, but especially with maybe family members and romantic partners, or ones you're trying who are current or past romantic partners, or ones you're trying to work things out with, can be kind of tough right now. And we'll definitely feel it also with that Mars opposite the moon. We're going to be feeling that for a while. We'll definitely feel it over the weekend, Sunday, and then also into Monday as the opposition becomes exact. So, try to be gentle and loving with people rather than punishing them and hostile, because, we just punish ourselves, when we do that. Ultimately, that doesn't work. I saw a quote recently that said something like, forgiving someone is like unlocking the door to the room and finding out that you were actually the prisoner. It's pretty deep. I'll say that again. So, forgiving someone is like unlocking a door and opening the door only to find out that you were the one who was in prison. So when we're hanging on to things and we can't forgive people because of the past, we're the ones that suffer. We're the ones who bring about the suffering. So forgiveness is a big theme right now. Saturn and Mars were just together. Well, it was a wide orb, but they were both in Libra. Saturn is still in Libra and it's retrograde. But Mars and Rahu, the North Node, were very close together. Mars has since gone retrograde back into Virgo. But he's going to be opposite that moon, so you might feel some of this hurt, bitterness, and vengeance. But one of the problems with Mars is this vengeance. And when Mars is in feminine signs, or Mars and his association with feminine signs, can tend to hold on and hang on to past hurts and regrets and want to exact some kind of emotional revenge. Of course, it rules Scorpio, so that kind of energy you can also see. But it also gives a lot of emotional courage. So it's not just the difficult quality of Mars expressing emotional, energy, but the power of Mars in an emotional sense is to give emotional courage. And the courage to be forgiving is a big part of it. So that's a big part of what we're doing right now. Venus is going to have just moved into Aquarius as well. So Venus and Mercury are in Aquarius. So that brings much more creativity and much more connection to culture. And Jupiter is still in Gemini moving forward. So big thing to know is we're looking at this new moon in Pisces on Sunday, March 30th. Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is where we go deeply into the psychological and emotional weaknesses that hold us back and keep us from merging with the true self. The deity Aja Ekapad means one-footed, the deity is called Ahibudnya, which is the celestial serpent. Aja Ekapad is the deity of Purva Bhadrapada. So Uttara Bhadrapada, the deity is Ahibudnya, who is the celestial serpent that goes down and extracts the poison out of your mind and then turns it into a great elixir. So solitude, meditation, introspection, forgiveness are big themes this weekend. So now I'm going to do the reading for my members. If you're interested in hearing how this is going to affect your sign, just join my member site for only $1 and you'll get to hear how this affects your sign as well. So, as they say in Hawaii, mahalo means thank you, and aloha. Have a good one.